Yo. Y'all still tuned in there? Yes, sir. This is your boy Harlem Smiley. And today, we are getting into something crazy because the OGs are starting to crack down on these cliques. We talking the Woo versus the Choos and the Blickies, but we're not just talking about them. We talking about all the Crip OGs, all the discrepancies, all of the blood OGs that's saying this shit gotta come to a halt. How you Crip, but you Woo, and you banging on a Cho, cause he run with the Woo, but yeah, y'all Crip. How you blood, and you bang, listen, all this shit gotta come to a halt, and a lot of people ain't gonna like this video. But we don't care about that, man. This is your boy Harlem Smiley, man. You are tuned into the one and only Dirt Gang TV. Yes, sir, man. Dirt Gang, we roll. Yikes. Side block. It's Curry Low.
You are now tuned into Bossman Tough Beats.
Y'all niggas already know what it is, man. Shout out from all the 30s, man. All the way from 35th and Edgecombe all the way to Crenshaw, man. I already know what it is. 30s. It's a Brooklyn Crip from a Harlem set. Show some respect. Not cuz, put it in check. I'm up next. This is your boy Harlem Smiley. You are tuned into the one and only Dirt Gang TV. And I know y'all like, damn, where you been at? Where have you been at? So, my job takes me around. We travel different places. When a different store opens up and they need a manager in that area, I gotta go. Sometimes I'll be gone for 2 weeks. That's why I said, I'm not the YouTuber that just depend on YouTube. I do this for the enlightenment, for the knowledge, so people don't be thinking that everybody running around out here in these streets looking like 6ix9ine, especially from Brooklyn, because it ain't going down like that. I tell you, man, y'all is, whew, we got to smoke big blunts for this one, man. Shout out to Frankie Smacks, man. It's that Purple Dragon. I know you've been waiting to get this one, too. It's that Purple Dragon, man. For all y'all out there, who not in tune with what's going on in New York, don't live in New York, I've never been to New York before, there's a lot of different gangs in New York. And we're not just talking about, like, you know, cliques. We talking about major gangs. We talking about Bloods. We talking about Crips. We talking about Latin Kings. We talking about Nietas. We talking about GDs. I mean, BDs are starting to come out there. There's a lot of major gangs that's in New York. And once upon a time, back in the day, when Crips and GDs came to New York a little bit before Crips did. But they wasn't, you know, really out there. This is the mid-90s we talking about. Early 90s GDs came out here. Came out there to New York. And Crips came mid-90s. So what happened was the knowledge got crossed up. Discrepancy happened. And lo and behold, the Crips was repping the 6-point star. This was back in the day. For all y'all who wasn't Crip between 95 and 2000, y'all probably have no clue what I'm talking about. But for all those who was Crip between 95 and 2000 in New York, y'all know exactly what I'm talking about. So what happened was they had what was called the 8 ball. So if you throw the GD, if you throw the pitchfork up and you throw the C, it makes the 8 ball. So for all y'all out there who don't know, Crips in New York have a universal handshake. As a universal handshake. And we talking about New York. New Jersey, a lot of them know it too because it's so close together. But for the most part, if you from 8 Deuce Trey, you from 8 Trey, you from Harlem 30s, you from you from Grape Street, any of these sets, you be from Sally's, any of these sets, when you run into another Crip in New York and you know your stuff, see what I'm saying? There is a universal handshake you do with that other Crip. It's not like that in California. A lot of other states are now getting tuned with it like that. If you from your set, you throw it up with your set. You do your set handshake. But if you in New York, there is something called a universal Crip handshake. It's not like that everywhere. Didn't come from California. When you come to California, there is no universal You don't see the Compton Crips throwing it up with the Long Beach Crips. It's not like that. In New York, it's like that though. Anything back in the day, if you seen a folk, you seen a GD. You see a GD in the Crip, there was a universal handshake between GDs and between Crips. If I'm lying, I'm flying. Everybody who was Crip from 95 to 2000, if you turn Crip at that time, then you know everything I'm talking about. You see a folk, and yes, GD folks in New York, they used to rock blue flags. I know now they wear black flags. They always have wore black flags. I used to live in Chicago. I know how it goes. In New York, they used to wear blue flags just to the right. Not to the left, to the right. That's why if you see somebody with a blue flag in their pocket, then it was to the left, they was Crip. If it was to the right, they was GDs. So it was a universal handshake you would do with them. And at the end of the handshake, that's how it end off. With them throwing up folk, you throwing up Crip, and it brung out the 8-ball. Corner pocket. We used to say that all the time. Once upon a time, Mac Money Murder. For all y'all out there who was really in tune. Back in 95 to 2000. This was mainly going on in Queens. Yes, sir, in Queens. Mac Money Murder was an 8-ball set. It was a set that was just an 8-ball set. You was in that set, you was Crip, and you was GD folk. Ask me how I know that. Because I went to one of their meetings. Rest in peace of my man Bolo from Queens. Big Black Bolo. If y'all in tune with Queens, y'all used to know Bolo. Rest in peace of Bolo. Me and him, we used to, when I moved to Queens, that was one of the first people I met. Him and my man Kwame from 6-0. Those are the first two people I met because back in those days, you know, running around at August Martin High School, running around and what is that shit called? Hillcrest, Jamaica High School. It wasn't just your set running around there at that particular time. You would link up because at that time, Crips was outnumbered everywhere. So you would link up with whoever was pretty much in that, what's the name? So it's funny too. It's like, sidebar, you know, boy, they used to call, I don't know if y'all know about wrestling. They used to call me and Bolo the Dudley Boys, the Dudley Twins. Remember Big Black Debo? Then you had the white one. They wasn't really twins, but me and him was so big, we used to catch rat. So what happened was me and Bolo ended up going to one of the meetings. So we was in Queens, heard about the meeting, and we went to one of the meetings. At this time, we was just Crips. We wasn't, you know, we hang out with the folks, we chill with the folks, but it wasn't like that. The first time we went to that meeting and they started talking about worshiping the devil and all that, I'll never forget that time. As soon as they talking about what the meaning of the 666 was, and I'm not going too deep into their shit. Me and Bolo looked at each other like this. Said, nah, cuz, we up out of here. Hey, we literally walked right out the middle of that meeting, too. We still rock with them, but nah. Me and him's like, we was out there doing our dirt, but you know what I'm saying? We was fear of the law. I said, nah, I can't rock with this, cuz. I don't know if you could do it. He's like, nah, I ain't doing that. And he was like, they about to do some cult shit. So anyway, yeah, that was a good sidebar. Rest in peace to Bolo. So, you know, that's how far deep in the Crips and the Bloods, I mean the Crips and the GD folks was. So that's why I say anybody who was Crip between 95 and 2000, you know it is impossible for Crips to rep GDK. It is impossible. Down the line, we learned right. We broke off from the 6-point star. That's why I give it to 8 Deuce Trey. Yes, 8 Deuce Trey. They was the first, and this is before, way before the Woos and the Chos was even out. They broke off from the 6-point star. It had nothing to do with just the GD folks. A lot of people don't realize the person who really started 8 Deuce Trey is a big homie from California. It's just he didn't want to start no whole nother set that he came from. Listen, I had specific talks with a Big Cho. My man's from back in the day. He don't like being on camera. He was like, yo, if you want to do I said, nah, I don't do interviews. God forbid something happened to that man. on my watch, I can't be held accountable for that. So with that being said, I'm not even going to mention his name. But he gave me a little enlightenment because a lot of the older Crips is still cool with GDs. You grew up with these people. See what I'm saying? You was riding with these people. When there was 5 Bloods, every one Crip, the GDs was the ones who rock with us. So it is impossible for y'all to run around saying all Crips are GDK, because it's not. It's not the case. So here's the discrepancy with the Woo versus the Chos. So I had a little talk with him about it. I said, we're not going to talk on camera, but I do need some insight on this. Now, he's a little older than me, but he does have a little nephew that that is GD that run around with the Chos. You see what I'm saying? So he has a lot of insight on what's going down. So he told me, like, it all started as a rap group. It all started as rap groups. And y'all got some good-ass rappers. I'm not even going to lie. We're going to go down the line with some of the Cho rappers. Y'all got MV Kane, Breezy Blicky. Y'all got Cokes the Goat. Y'all got PNVJ, 22 G's, Nas Blicky, G Banger, Young J, Nick Blicky. All of those rappers I named, all doing drill music. Now, with them being GDs, right? Drill music came from Chicago. They are adapted to it. A lot of the G's from Chicago came to New York. For all those out there, yes, GDs in New York are direct distinction from Chicago. Chicago G's moved out here and started GDs in the early 90s. Might have even been towards the late 80s. Direct descendant. So, of course, they would adapt to the drill music. Y'all got good. Every one of the ones I just mentioned, there's more out there. Those are the specific ones I've been listening to lately. Because I'm not even going to lie. I was never really on drill music like that. But y'all are starting to make it popular because I never thought drill music would hit Brooklyn like that. But what happens is it started off as rap groups. And then because most of I gotta stop smoking. Most of the Chos are pretty much mainly GDs. There's a sprinkle of Crips in there, a sprinkle of Bloods in there, but they are. So here's where the discrepancy is about to really take place. Woo rappers. It's a bunch of y'all out there. See who we got. Fetty Luciano, Cool to B, Raw Swish, D Suave, Curly Suave, Pop Smoke, JD, Drizzy Giuliano, Young Costamato. Y'all got a couple of rappers out there, and y'all got big ones that's doing big. Pop Smoke is like taking it to the top. That like Fetty Luciano, they taking it to the top. Woo walk to the left, woo walk to the right, spin around, do it twice. That shit is catchy. I'm not even gonna lie. Heard that shit. I said, what the hell is this? The woo walk. I said, oh, I ain't gonna lie. That song is that. Listen, let me jump back on track. I'm sorry. You jump back online like Star 69. See what I'm saying? But y'all got good rappers that's doing a lot out there. So with the woos consist of, here's where it gets crazy at, right? So the woos are a mixture of like Bloods and Crips, but GS9 is probably the main artist who y'all probably know that's a Woo. But it's crazy because like if you out there right now, there's a big conflict going on with 8 Deuce Trey and 8 Trey that doesn't really have nothing specific to do with Woo versus Cho. It's something a little bit beyond that. But if you a Woo member, most Woo members that's Crip are either 8 Trey or they are GS9 from 8 Deuce Trey. But you would have thought that them being Woo members would have actually brought those sets together. It's not. And same thing on the Blood side of town. If you a Blood and you a Woo member, 9 times out of 10, you either a 8 or you a Brim. So now you see, so now here's the crazy part about it, right? So it's like you see a lot of them, instead of like saying, oh, you know, throw down the Woo or throw down the Choo or this or that, they throwing down hats. They throwing down brim. They throwing it down. They throwing the rakes down. So now it's like y'all not just making it just the click banging. Now y'all bringing a gang aspect into it too. Y'all Choo got some Crip members in it too. Mostly Sally. So Sally and 8 Dudes Trade, I don't know if y'all know, right? I mean, like, that might as well be the same set. Sally is one of the original sets. One of the original sets that's out there. Sally don't have a lot of members that's outside of Sally's. Like, if you live in Brooklyn, you live in Brownsville, you know what Sally's is. So, if you a Choo member and you from Sally, and you could have went to the same elementary school, junior high school with this dude that's from 8 Dudes Trade, but he's a Woo, now where's it go? Because remember, it's supposed to be Crip over everything. So I don't care if you is in a different clique. Now, do you bang on that man because of the Woo versus Choo thing? Or do you say it's Crip over that? So I got the GD side from it, right? Like, the GD really don't have the discrepancy on the Choo side of that, because if you Choo, you pretty much, you know, there really isn't no GDs that's Woo. So it's not like, oh, this one from you know, this from No Love City, and then this one would, like, the PNV would be from, you know, from, it's not like that. So they don't have that discrepancies. It's the same thing. If you Choo, you pretty much GD. But if you Woo, you can be Blood or you can be Crip. But that's the problem. That's the problem. The Blood members from Choo are mainly GKBs. So now if you Choo and you GKB, but you run into a Woo member, but he's an 8. I'm sorry, but he's a hat. Now, everybody knows some discrepancies going on between them two sets that got way more to do with. But what happened to the brotherly love? What happened? This is the things I'm talking about that other people are talking about. That how is this even possible? How is it even going down? So I had a chance, and it wasn't a high-ranking Woo member. I'm saying one of my, I'm be honest too, one of my little cousins, his man's, he's a Blood, and he's Woo. So I had a chance to talk to him. Shout out to the big homie Rollo from Harlem, man. Sidebar, I had the chance to chop it up with him. I ain't see cousin like probably like 17, 18 years. You know, still out there, still running around crazy. See what I'm saying? You know, it was good to chop it up with the old one. See what I'm saying? And the only reason why I brung him up, because he moved from Manhattan. He lives in Brooklyn now, which is very surprising, because he really, like, he hate Brooklyn. You see what I'm saying? But he moved to Brooklyn like a long time ago. And then, you know, I used to always try to tell him, yo, you gotta come to Brooklyn, man. You be in Harlem all the time. But anyway, so that's how I actually ran into my little cousin who man was there. See what I'm saying? Yada, yada, yada. So, basically what he told me was, right, and he was probably about 23, 24 years old. So, you know, I'm not going to go too into detail. I'm not going to throw his name out there. He basically told me, as far as like on the Crip side, right, like they got more restraint over that too, especially now because the OGs are cracking down on the 8 Dudes Trade members that's running around and, you know, and throwing and claiming Woo over Crip. They don't have no problem with them repping Woo. It's just, you got to remember, the Crip stuff come first. Same thing with the OGs from 8 Trey. They have been cracking down on their young homies too, you know, because I'm not going to go into detail about the original beef. See what I'm saying? But the original beef has been squashed. It's being squashed, but now this is bringing on a whole new beef. Now, on the Blood side of things, Blood OGs wasn't saying that first because they didn't care. See what I'm saying? In Brooklyn, in New York, it's different. You could have cousins that's blood, or you could be Crip. And my situation, I probably got like 20 cousins that's blood, and it's probably only like 6 of us that's Crip. Happens like that a lot of times. You might grow up with it, especially in Brownsville. Brownsville is a thin line in Brownsville. Brownsville is a lot, you know, it's a lot of areas surrounding Brownsville. Crown Heights, East New York, Bed-Stuy. It's a lot of surrounding areas. So, you know, Brownsville may be Cripped out, but it's like now you can't even look at it like that because of the discrepancies. See what I'm saying? So, you know, it's like Crips ain't, you know, yeah, I gotta chill out, man. It's like, it gotta be Crip over everything, man. See what I'm saying? The big homies on the blood didn't care, but now it's becoming a bigger thing because the double OGs out there, the originators, they trying to put a halt to all this blood on blood violence because it's a lot. I ain't gonna lie, like it's bad to see New York turned out almost looking like California now because that's one thing that we was thriving on in New York was unity. See what I'm saying? Like it was a united front. Like if you was Crip, you didn't really mess with no Bloods. You mess with GDs and GDs only. You see what I'm saying? Bloods back in the day had a lot of allies. They had ABG, they had L&W, they had FTW, they had everybody. The Crips only allies we had besides GD folks was DCEPs. That's it. Low lives, blood allies, like everybody went to blood allies. It was just so easy to turn blood at that time. What you gonna do? Fight 6 minutes or fight 31 seconds? Easy choice. Everybody was running turning blood back in the middle 90s, early 90s. Everybody was turning blood. To the ones who turned blood in jail, different story. But the ones that turned on the street, 30, you had a choice. Back in the day, I say like 95 when Crips started being known for being out there, along with the Bloods. Bloods came like 93, a little bit earlier. When there was both out there though, you had a choice. Which one do you want to turn? That's why I try to tell people all the time. For you to be running around, if you turn Crip 95 to 2000, it was dangerous. It was super dangerous on the street, in jail, around the trains, in the schools. It was super dangerous. You was super outnumbered. So that's why when you see anybody that's over the age of like 30, 31, 32, you'll find a bunch of like fake Bloods. You know what I'm saying? Bloods who just grabbed the flag, say they was in. You will rarely find a fake Crip that's that age because at that time, it wasn't cool to be Crip. You wasn't grabbing the blue flag just saying I was Crip just to be Crip because that shit would have got you killed. Well, not even really killed, but back then everybody was slicing faces. Y'all remember the mid-90s, early 90s? Just slicing faces all day. Razors was it. Wasn't running around with guns and all that yet. It was razors. So it wasn't cool to be Crip back in the day. So I give it to everybody who turned Crip between 95 to 2000 that's still repping Crip now because a lot dropped their flags. A lot switched over to different gangs. Whether you was Crip and you turned folk, you was Crip and you turned blood. See what I'm saying? If you switch sets at different time for different reasons, no discrepancy behind that. But for all those who actually just like switched over gangs, it happened a lot. It happened a lot. But for all those who still kept it true to that blue, I give it to y'all. If you woo, if you Choo, keep it that way. I'm not talking to y'all right now. If you Crip and you rep woo, remember, Crip come first. If you blood and you rep woo, remember your instance, blood should come first. Now, if you just woo and you Choo and you not in no gang, different story. Keep doing you. Just be careful. But the OGs are cracking down on y'all right now because it's looking crazy out here in these streets. It's looking crazy out here in these streets. What are y'all doing out here? Y'all got good rappers. Y'all music sound almost exactly the same. Almost exactly the same. Y'all using almost exact same beats, slowing it down, putting different doo-doo in there. That's it. Come on, man. We got to get it together out here, man. They are cracking down out here, son. See what I'm saying? So it's like, you know, I just don't get it. For all my 8 trays and my 8 deuce trays out there, y'all got to get it together. Let's get it together right out. Let's get it together out there. Let's get back to where we used to be. See what I'm saying? Let's get back to it. Just a Brooklyn Crip from a Harlem set. Show some respect. If not, cuz, put it in check. I'm up next. This is your boy Harlem Smiley. You are tuned into the one and only Dirt Gang TV. Hold up. Before I forget. I need everybody to go on Instagram. Hannah Risman 45. Hannah Risman 45. I'm not going to put your picture up there. I don't even want to give you the platform. What about Harlem's hit me in the inbox? Tell me, yo, you see this shit on here? I'm like, what the fuck? You know, I don't even really be on social media like that. I'm not one of those, you know what I'm saying? Go, give me the link. I click on it. Girl on there burning red flags. I'm like, it's a girl picture burning red flag. I'm like, all right. Then get to the bottom and burning blue flags. All right. Now they burning them together. All right. Maybe they just hate Bloods and Crips. Why you send this to me? He goes, well, it's not only just that. Look at the nigga that's liking her pictures. Look at her friend list. And I look on there, and it's a lot of Crips and Bloods on there. Not even a lot. It's like, yo, listen. If you are Hannah Risman's 45, if you are her or his friend, and you are a Blood or a Crip, and you have them as a friend, yeah, like what are y'all doing? Why do you have this person as a friend? This is the problem with all the fake stuff that's flying around out here. We got to chill with all this fake stuff flying around out here. So if y'all got her as a friend, please, I'll advise y'all to take them off, because it's going to get a little ugly. Y'all got to stop doing this stuff on here. That's not unity. You want to be unified, Hannah Risma 45, tie the flags together and hang them up. Don't burn them. Anyway, we're going to get back into it, man. I'm just a Brooklyn Crip from my Harlem set. Show some respect. If not, cuz, put it in check. I'm up next. This is your boy Harlem Smiley, and you are tuned into the one and only Dirt Gang TV. And if you've been here before, man, hit the like button, man. You know what it is, man. If you haven't been here before, subscribe to the channel, and you know what it is. And you also can hit the like button, man. It's the thumb. Just turn it from white to blue, and if not one, put up 2, man. We rolling, man. Dirt Gang, man.